This time we're going to look at a vintage MP3 player. This is one of those little portable ones, early ones, around 2008, I'm guessing, 2009, somewhere in there. Built-in memory. Just plug your headphones in and you're good to go. Clip it on your belt. This one here doesn't turn on, so we're going to see why it doesn't work and can we make it work. Let's check it out. This is a little MP3 player that goes way back because before we had phones and stuff, this is how we used to play our MP3s. We had these little players with built-in memory. This one's 2 gigabytes. And it won't turn on. So I plug it into charge. And I've had it on charge for hours. In a minute it'll show that it's fully charged, but it won't turn on. So I guess the built-in battery on this thing is shot. So I figured, okay, let's take this thing apart. Either that or it needs to be reset. There is a little reset pin on the back here. Let's just try pushing that. So let's just push that little reset button and see whether that'll do anything, but I think the battery is toast. I think that's the power button. Gee, it's been so long since I've used one of these things, I forget how to work it. That menu button doesn't seem to be working, so possible that there's a button that's sticking and that's locking out the other controls. Anyway, let's crack this thing open and see what's inside it. Be careful when I open this up as to not puncture the battery, because if the battery is charged, that would not be good. So we just slide the screwdriver along the edges there and voila, the unit opens up. And there's a display on the front here. I don't want to take that out. A couple of screws that hold the unit in. This is going to be the backlight, I think, for the display. Maybe not. Yeah, that's the reflection. That's the reflective surface. Let's just remove these screws. And there's the unit, complete with a little battery pack that actually has puffed up. So I'm going to say that this little battery pack is FUBAR. And that's probably why this thing's not working. I don't know if I've got one of these batteries or not. I might have one. 2008, 3.7 volts. Well, this should be a pretty simple one to swap out if I've got one. But yeah, this battery pack is, as you can see, it's gone puffed up. But it could be that switch too that's sticking, because that switch should normally click and it's not. Let's just test the voltage and see if there's any charge on the battery. And the battery itself is completely dead. So that's going to be the problem with this. Let me see if I can locate a battery. Well, the unit turned on and I can go through the menus when it's plugged in. But when I try to press the button down to play music, the button doesn't appear to be working to get it to play. Like I can't go into any of the settings or anything. So I think one of the buttons must be sticking or it's just not working. And there is a little backlight on here, as you can see. A little blue, and there's a red and a blue LED lit up at the same time to give it kind of a purple color display. But the play pause switch, you push it down to make it play, is not making a connection. Either the switch itself is bad or this other button is stuck. The menu button might be stuck and it's locking it out. It'd be neat to see what's actually loaded on this thing after all these years, because this would have been loaded in 2008 when it was new. Well, that menu switch was stuck. Now it clicks. Took it apart. Now you can hear it click. So it was stuck down, but that's not why it's not playing. I'm thinking perhaps it won't play when it's plugged into USB. It will only play when it's on battery, because when it's plugged into USB, it's for loading music onto it and charging. So let's just take the battery off, and I'll just hook it up to a power supply and see whether this thing will actually play any music on a power supply. This battery is shot, so no loss. As I say, this thing here is so old, but it'd be kind of cool to see if it will actually do anything. So I'll give it power. I've got my power supply set for 3.8 volts. Oh, it does turn on. Interesting. Will it play? Oh, look, it's going to play AC/DC Back in Black. Cool. This thing actually might work with an external power supply. And then, of course, it turned off. Oh no, I guess it's just the display goes off. I'm just going to plug this into the speakers and see what it sounds like. Okay, let's see if this thing plays. It does. What else is on here?
Well, he made his way back to the old town.
Looks like there's 486 tracks on here. It's in random play now. Yeah, anyway, hey, this whole thing actually works after all these years. So, well, that's a long track. Telegraph Road, Dire Straits. That'll take forever to play. But hey, it's it's a little toy, basically. I'll stop it there. We'll just unplug it. So all I need to do to make this thing work as a portable player again is, see, the case just pops apart. I didn't have to destroy anything. The case just snaps apart. All I'm going to need to do is find one of these little 100 milliamp hour 3.7 volt lithium batteries. I can stick this thing back in here, stick this thing back together, and make it work. The menu button's not going to work on it, but I don't know what that menu was for. Probably to select random play or something, but it's in that mode now. But the thing I like about these little players is they come in handy for just if you want to, like even if you're powering them up with a power supply, they come in handy for things like feeding a low power transmitter with background music or something, for background use. don't hold a lot of tracks, but 500 tracks is enough for a background system. Yeah, you can do it with a phone, but I find these little players are kind of neat because if you want a standalone system that you can just plug in and have music playing, you can't beat these little things. To say they're I don't even know if you. I guess you can still get these. I haven't even looked in years, but this is what we used to all use before we had phones and stuff. Clip this to your belt, and you've got music with you wherever you go. Anyway, that's interesting. This thing, after all these years, this thing still works. So I'm just going to stick this together for now. And here's something I thought of, and I'm going to try this once I get it back together. I didn't consider this. It may operate. I'll take this menu control out just so that the button can be accessed if it needs to be pressed. I'll just rip this out. There. Now the button can be accessed with something you can press down with, if I need to access that menu, I can click it like that. I guess I should put the screws in to hold the chassis in place before I close it up. And make sure that the hold button is in the right position. Like that. Okay, let's just put the screws in. Something I didn't try is, and it might actually work. It may have locked out the play control when the battery was connected because it was trying to charge the battery, and now that the battery is removed, it may actually even let me press the play button when it's plugged into a USB adapter. So let's just put the screws in, snap it together, and see whether it will actually play off of power. Okay. That's plugged in. Plug that in. Plug that in there, and I guess I won't be able to plug that in at the same time. It's a little bit thick. But let's just see whether it'll actually go into play. Looks like it will. It looks like it will be powered. It can be powered from a USB adapter without a battery in it, but with the battery in it, it just wouldn't allow it to go into play. A little bit of ingenuity and some sharp scissors, snips, make that USB port just a little bit smaller, and voila, it works. Of course, a different adapter would work as well. This is a pretty thick one. But there we go. Now I got a music player. I can just plug this in and let it rip. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.